angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth was stone, our ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Alrighty, I'm going to show you my beef stew. We're making it in a Cancooker. That's what Evil Rick had brought us. We use this thing a lot, and I mean a lot. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I make beef stew in it. I'm sure other people make it various ways. So I already sprayed the inside with some cooking spray, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil just to make sure that my beef doesn't stick. And I'm going to turn it on about medium heat. And no, we don't have all fancy, exciting equipment. We've got cheap stuff because we're po people. You want to buy us expensive stuff? Go right ahead. But we just get what works. Okay, so I just got my beef in there. Gonna brown it up a little bit. These things are absolutely amazing. Move it over there. Shouldn't take too long to start. Now, I don't put a bunch of different stuff in our beef stew. I put obviously beef. I put carrots and potatoes, which I cut them first, so they're kind of starting to brown a little bit, but it is what it is. And I cut everything up a little smaller because I like it that way. I cut everything up. I use this thing almost daily. This is the Moore knife that Evil Rick had brought me. If anybody tells you not to get a Moore knife, just call them a knife snob and go right ahead and get one. These things are incredibly awesome. They sharpen rather easily. They keep a good edge. High carbon steel. Just because it's not the 51,500 million whatever steel doesn't mean they're bad. Pardon me. And we're starting to get a little bit of heat going here. And I just want to brown it up. That's all I'm doing is browning it up. This is so incredibly simple to use, this Cancooker. Blue's walking around trying to get a snip in on what's going on. She apparently doesn't like carrots too well. I dropped a piece of carrot when I was chopping it up earlier, and she didn't finish it, so. Apparently carrots are not high on her menu. Hopefully I got the camera settings right this time. I love this Nikon L840, but I'm getting used to the settings and and how to properly apply them. I am by no means an expert. And we're not going to fully cook the beef. We're just going to brown it a little bit. We're not gonna fully cook it. It'll finish cooking when it's when everything's I'm going to say simmering together. You'll see once we get to that point. Again, I'm doing this on medium heat. They don't recommend you put a Cancooker on anything over that. That's like the absolute maximum. But when I do add the beef broth and the water, I will go ahead and turn it up a little bit further than that until it starts to boil. And that's as long as I'll do that. And then you'll see me, I'll show you the settings. I'll turn it way down. I probably don't need to tell you the settings, but typical electric stove, low, medium, and high with 4 dots in between each of those. I just turn it to a not quite in between low and medium, just a little bit higher than right in between it. Not too much longer, and we'll be browned to where I want to brown it to. This Cancooker makes the most awesome meals. We make chili in it, chicken and rice in it, stew. Tons of recipes online, other YouTube videos, give you ideas of things you can make with it and how to make it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So, what I will do is I'm going to add my beef broth. And I'm just using a 3-pound box or 48 ounce of great value beef broth. Nothing too fancy or expensive there. Okay, that's added. I'm going to add in my carrots. And lastly, my potatoes. And what I like to do, and I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's a little rivet up here that holds your clamps in, and I like to put water up to that rivet. So let me go get a little water. You definitely want to be over your food. Probably just a little more. Okay, so I'm going to give that a stir. And I'm not going to put the lid on just yet. But what I am going to do is turn up to that medium, between medium and high on my heat. And now I'm just going to wait and let it boil. And you can add salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to throw a little bit of salt in here. Say a little bit and then throw a whole container in, right? And add in some pepper. Give her another good stir. Okay, so we'll let that go, and I'll be back as soon as it starts boiling. Okay, so we got a boil going on here, so I'm just going to give it a stir. And then I'm going to turn my heat down, and I'm going to try to get this on there for you. Like I said, I do a medium-high for the boil, and then I'll turn it down to about there. That's what I was trying to tell you. I'll turn it down to there, and now I'm going to turn around. I'm going to let it calm down a little bit here. Try to get this camera back here. Getting used to using this with the tripod and all that good stuff. So I wanted to make sure that it calmed down just a little bit, and the reason why is because otherwise with the water level that high, it'll come out the little hole in the lid here. So, and I don't want that to happen. So we're going to put the lid on and clamp it down. And I don't know if you can see the vapor coming off of that. It's kind of hard to see. But there is a vapor. Let me see if I can zoom in and get it. Kind of see it. I don't know if turning the light out would help. Yeah, there you go. See, nothing crazy. You don't want a steamboat geyser going off or nothing. But you just want one about like that. Let me turn the light back on here. Just about like that. And then everything's clamped down. It's good to go. So all I'm going to do is set my timer. And I do it for an hour for this. Some people say an hour, some people say an hour and a half. An hour seems to be completely sufficient to me. So we'll join back with you as soon as that hour's up, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so it's been an hour, so we're going to go ahead and open it up. I'm going to turn the heat off on the burner. This does get hot. All of it gets hot. The handles, all of it, so be careful of that. And I wouldn't recommend putting your arm over the steam like I just did, but that's okay. It didn't get me. And there we go. Let me grab a ladle. Look at that goodness. Look at that goodness. So, and the meat is just so tender. Let me make sure that the carrots and whatnot got fully cooked here. Let me grab one to try here. And I'm sure the potatoes are good if the carrots are good. Let me drop the gasket down inside of it like an idiot. Perfect. Perfect. So there you go. You dig your gasket back out. Hopefully you don't put it in to begin with. It doesn't stay on the lid after it gets hot. I think it's supposed to stay on the lid, but it doesn't. So anyway, there you go. Cancooker beef stew. A very basic, simple recipe. There's nothing to my recipe. You could put onions, celery, whatever you normally put in it. You can just go wild with it if you want. We just make a basic recipe. We're all about cheap, inexpensive meals that are tasty, and this is about as good as it gets. This is some awesome stuff. So feel free to comment below. You know any good recipes or anything like that for Cancooker? I'm always open because these things are awesome and they do really, really good work. Ham and beans is another thing I've made in it. Really, really good. The chicken and rice, though, is just to die for. I'll have to make a video of making how I make chicken and rice in it. So, anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you soon.